How many people do you have taking care of the social media side of the club?
Yeah, so first off, there's me. I'm the social media manager for Orlando City and then Orlando Pride, which is our women's pro team. And then I have currently under me 3 interns. That varies based on our university's semesters and what's going on. So usually during the spring and fall, we usually try to have at least 2 interns. And then there's my boss, of course, who helps out on game days as well.
What social media channels do you use?
Yeah, so we have your basic ones. You have your Facebook, you have your Twitter, you have your Instagram. We're on YouTube. We have Snapchat. We utilize Periscope for our live streamings on Twitter, and we use Instagram Live occasionally, and we also have our mobile app.
So you got quite a lot, huh?
Yeah.
How important it is for the club to get the social media airtime, so to say?
I mean, it's very important. You're competing with so many things. In the United States, I would say attention spans are very short. So you're really trying to put the best product out there, and also the most amount of quantity out there, so fans are noticing what content you're putting out there. And you have to compete. Again, there's Disney here in Orlando. There's Orlando Magic. There's many different things that people come to Orlando to experience, and on social media we try to showcase our experience, whether it's how great our fans are, how good the team is, or anything around game day. We try to share that experience on social media because ultimately that's what we're selling.
What kind of numbers do you have following you on the different social medias?
So currently right now we have over 600,000 followers on Facebook. We have over 400,000 on Twitter, and I believe we are over 200,000 on Instagram currently. And we have around 27,000 on Snapchat.
How does that compare? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, comparatively speaking to the other
Major
teams,
League Soccer?
Yeah, so pretty much in every category, on every platform, we rank in the top 3 or 4 in every platform.
Kind of figures those are huge numbers, actually.
Yeah. I mean, again, yeah, we rank in the top 3 or 4 for every platform.
What kind of interactive things do you have running on those social media outlets? Do you do competitions and such?
Yeah, we do some every now and again. We did recently, just before our home opener 2 weekends ago, we did an Instagram Live with our broadcast host, basically just walking around downtown Orlando, basically encouraging fans to come find us through Instagram Live, and the first person to find us would get 2 free tickets. And it's fun, organic things that people like. It brings awareness to the game, but it also gives an opportunity for a fan that may not be able to afford to go to that game for whatever reason, and an opportunity to go to that game.
It seemed to me, after watching 2 of the first games of the season here, that your fans are pretty knowledgeable. They know about soccer, which is not the case everywhere in U.S. But to me, they look and sound like they know about it.
Yeah, I would say Orlando, especially Florida, is a very multicultural state, and definitely as you get south, there's a lot of Hispanics, there's Brazilians, even Europeans, and you see that in the fabric of our club, in the front office, and within our fans, and even in the Anglo-American community. People are starting to get into soccer, and especially the young demographic. Most of our biggest following on social media is between the age of 18 and 34.
Okay.
So that's a very young demographic. The older generation in the United States, they like their NFL and their MLB, but a lot of the kids now, they've grown up with finally getting access to soccer, especially from Europe, on TV. They have FIFA, the video game, and that's their first introduction to soccer, whereas the older generation didn't have that. So now you have a younger community going to your games, and they're all very knowledgeable about the world's game.
Where do you get the ideas of doing various things in social networks? Where do you pick them up? Do you sort of like go through other clubs, other sports, and steal the best ones, or how do you create them?
I mean, inspiration can come from anywhere. So I like to look at not just soccer, but other clubs, and I think the NBA does a great job. They kind of make basketball a culture in itself. It's not just basketball, but you have your music, you have your clothing and your fashion and stuff like that. So I think there's a lot to take from the NBA. There's things to take from the NFL, and then there's practices that teams and clubs do around the world from soccer that we don't necessarily do, and we have a different style. But it's always good to look at what other clubs are doing. So I like to look around, but of course, you know, you can always see what other brands are doing that aren't, you know, in sports. With social media, there's so many new tools that you can utilize. For instance, Instagram Live wasn't a thing 2 years ago when I was just getting into the business. You know, live streaming wasn't a thing. Instagram stories wasn't a thing. Snapchat was just kind of being used by brands. So it's constantly evolving as social media companies add more tools to their certain platforms. It constantly changes.
What kind of ambitions or targets do you set as a person and as a club with the social media and the internet world in itself? And how do you measure those, if you reach them or if you don't, and what you should improve or do differently?
Yeah, I think for us, a good measuring stick, and I think not just for us, but anybody in life, is improving in what you can do, improving your product, improving upon the statistics that you've set the year before. So last year we had, as a whole entire club, including our women's team, we had, I think, 33 million social media views. So I think this year our goal is to broaden that, you know, and get more views than last year, and every year try to build upon it. And I think overall we get statistics from the league that is able to you're able to compare your club with other clubs, and we like to make sure we are amongst the top 5 or so and unique engaged audience. So trying to engage as many people as possible and add those numbers up, and that's pretty much what we're looking to do.
Just a few personal things. What's your background in sports, in social media, and what is your background?
Yeah, so I grew up in Miami, Florida. Both my parents are Cuban, so I kind of grew up watching baseball, which is a very Cuban sport, but I got into all sorts of sports. I grew up playing baseball, basketball, soccer, and then I played lacrosse as I got older in high school, in my later education years before going to college. But my first MLS game was in 1998, going to see the Miami Fusion. That team ended up folding. Now Miami will have a team with David Beckham in the near future, but that was kind of my first introduction to soccer, seeing the Miami Fusion, and then I was able to see a few games at DC United where I have family, and then I ended up hearing about Orlando City Soccer Club when I was in college, and I really wanted to be a part of it, especially knowing that the club was starting to build momentum and trying to get into MLS. And then once it got into MLS, I really started to write for a fan blog on fansided.com, and that experience got me an internship with Orlando City Soccer Club doing social media, and that internship got me a full-time social media coordinator position with the MLS team in Philadelphia, and I was there for about a season in 2016, just a little under a year, and then they brought me back here, so I'm now starting my second full season with Orlando City.
One more thing, how important it is for MLS to bring the European top clubs to US to play the exhibition games in the summertime?
I think, yeah, it's important. At times, I think it ends up just drawing fans that are fans of, say, for instance, Real Madrid. We played them in Chicago last year, our All-Stars. A lot of fans just wanted to see Real Madrid, but I think more so it's just important to continue to build the quality of the league and the professionalism of the league and showcase what we really have. And each and every year, especially I've been following the league since 1998, I can guarantee you the quality has gotten better and better, and you keep adding clubs in major markets. We're getting a better youth academy system going, and our average age in the league is dropping. We actually have the lowest average age of any league in North America for soccer, whereas a lot of people think we do have a few older players like David Villa. Most recently, Kaká was with us, so it kind of seems we have the retirement league kind of title, but it's very far from the truth. We have a lot of very young players coming, especially from South America, that are very talented.
Ryan, Many thanks. I appreciate your time, and good luck.
Thank you, guys.